Blessings, and more blessings to every single one of you souls out there.
Yes, yes.
My name is Queen of Bergen.
I am Chemistry.
And we are the life
we chose.
We are the life we chose. We are each the embodiment of the life we chose, and we are also the co-host of the Life We Chose podcast, and we are welcoming you to another episode of opening our minds, expanding our horizons, creating our future.
Talk.
You know what I mean?
Talk.
Yeah, it's just
That's all we've been doing today. I ain't gonna lie to you.
We out here bubbly.
Yes.
How you feeling, Kim?
I'm feeling great.
You look good.
Great. Oh, I appreciate
Orange is a good color on
Thank
you.
I mean, yeah, it's like the skin tone.
Yeah,
bit, you know.
I like it.
Yeah,
Orange is a good color.
I like that we in hoodie vibe right now. You know, it feels good.
Bro, it is hoodie season. Is it hoodie season? It's probably bubble jacket season
it's
at this point.
It's a full blown coat. Now.
Yeah, full blown
we
coat.
in full
I'm not
coat.
much of a coat person though.
No?
Mm-mm.
I love a good coat.
Yeah,
give me warmth.
You know what's crazy? I want to be the I don't know if it's gonna happen this season because I'm real late in the game.
Yeah.
But I want to have a coat that like matches outfits. Yeah, and typically when you buy a coat, you don't buy a coat to match a bunch of outfits.
Nah, I get like one general color.
One general coat,
work.
yeah. You know what I mean, and then it just goes with everything.
But then if you do more coats, you probably want to get thinner coats that like you could layer so that it's like. You can switch it up.
Layering is really where the fashion comes in.
Yeah.
That's where you add it in. So I know that every single one of you listeners came here to talk fashion with us. 'Cause I'm telling you, we do it all here. You know what I mean? We do it all here. But what we also do is our homework. So that's how we always start it off.
Oh, 100%. Now, if you are listening on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Now, if you are following us on your favorite audio streaming platform, you know what to do already. You know what to do. Give us that 5-star rating. That 5-star rating is what gets our message to all the listeners who need to hear what we have to say, who are looking for some things that can help change their mind, help grow them. So if you're listening on those platforms, be sure to give it a 5-star. Send it to your friends, send it to your family, anybody who needs that message, get it out there. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that like, you know, we're listening to the community actively.
Yes.
Right. We're always listening to the feedback that you guys have. We're always like trying to figure out what's you know, how can we improve the podcast, right?
Yes.
Now, in going in the back end of our Buzzsprout account, because we use Buzzsprout to distribute the podcast.
Yes.
You know, if you're interested in creating your own podcast, you should definitely do that. There's a link in the show notes and description for you to start your own podcast. We'll give you $20 to do that as well. And Buzzsprout is a great platform. Buzzsprout has analytics on the back end. And according to the analytics, one of the most popular episodes of the Life We Chose podcast. Okay, you guys ready for it? The ones that you guys love so much was the episode on changing your mind. I was out here like, what?
Yes,
That's
them
what
analytics talk.
Yeah, so the analytics said it. You know what I'm saying? It was changing your mind.
Yeah.
And we had gotten so much feedback after that episode where people were reaching out, was just like, hey, like I'm thinking about changing this about what's going on, and like I'm going through this situation. And you know, I got a lot of feedback. Did you?
Yeah, no, definitely. People definitely reached out. You know, a lot of people are going through shifts, I think, you know, especially in our age group.
Yeah.
The 30s, you know, transforming our spaces, our mindsets, and just the things that we want to do. So a lot of people reached out. It really resonated with them. And, you know, a lot of people are considering making changes in their lives.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to make those changes, right?
Exactly.
And I know that since we've talked about changing your mind, I actually was thinking to myself after reading, I'm like, how can we kind of double down? How can we kind of spread this conversation out a little bit more and kind of get a little bit closer to the root, or even give you guys some words to help identify what some of those things in your changes are looking like, right?
Like that. Okay.
And this actually sparked the conversation that we're going to be having today. And it's on a word that I want to add to your vocabulary. All right. I know it's somewhere in the back. I know it's floating in the distance somewhere.
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? But I want to bring it to the foreground. I want to pull it from one of the file cabinets, you know what I'm saying, and bring it to the foreground. And the word and the topic of today's episode is on resistance. I like when you do that. I like when you give me the It makes me feel like I said things.
Yeah,
I said a word.
No,
it had multiple syllables. Multiple syllables.
You like those words that tingle.
I like the tingle words.
The ones that
Yes, I do. I like the tingle words.
The ones that spark it.
So we're going to be talking about resistance, right? And I like, and here's the connection between changing your mind and resistance. Resistance is a physiological response to change.
Yeah.
Physiological response to change, right?
Yeah.
As the human mind is developing, and I am not a neurologist, I am simply somebody who enjoys Google and random YouTube videos at 3 a.m. Right? That's who you're listening to. So take my advice with a grain of salt. Okay? But as human beings, we are all trying to find patterns. We're all trying to stay close to the familiar.
Yeah.
Because staying close to the familiar is what makes us safe.
Yeah.
Right? That's how the brain operates. Now, what happens is when things are changing and things are shifting, and a lot of the people who reached out to us or whatever, when those things shift, it causes discomfort.
Yes.
And that discomfort is called resistance. Okay? Now, I think the reason why this has been showing up a lot for me right now is because I feel like I have a lot of resistance in spaces in my life that I haven't been willing to change.
Wow.
Right? And this is what I mean by that, right? So I had a job, right? I know, right? I just said that. I was employed. I was employed. I didn't even want to tell. I had resistance towards telling people. Yeah, even telling people that I was working because, as I was like, oh, I'm a professional poet. This is what I do for myself. I had resistance in telling people that because it was unfamiliar to, my ego, to my narrative, to, how people perceive me. It was unfamiliar, so I had resistance. I didn't want anyone to really know. Yeah. Now, I had a great job. It wasn't like, and this is what I mean by great job, because I had a job where I had a 401k. Yeah. I was making a good salary. Yeah. I was majority remote. I was in marketing. It wasn't like, it
was all the things.
It was all the things it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. As I'm working at this job, though, I'm feeling wild crazy.
Wow.
Because it was supposed to be the dream job. It was supposed to be the thing that I was going after. And while I was there, I kept feeling something. Like, I kept feeling like I didn't want to work. I kept feeling like my stuff wasn't valued. I kept feeling like I wasn't authentic. And I just kept feeling a lot of things. Like, it made me feel like I was lazy, like I was procrastinating, like I wasn't doing enough. And I couldn't explain those feelings.
Yeah.
Up until I eventually got laid off. All right. I got laid off from that job. And the day I got laid off, right? The day I got laid off from that job, bro, I was like, I woke up that morning and I texted one of my friends or whatever. I woke up that morning and I was like, I don't want to work. Like that morning, I sent the text message and I was like, I don't want to work.
So this is before
I got laid. Yes, literally.
Right.
So I was supposed to be at work. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to work remote. Yeah. And I woke up in the morning and I said, yo, I can't do this. And that was the first time. You know what I'm saying? The first time since I've been there, I was like, yo, I can't do this. Like, I don't got the energy.
Wow.
And I never had a situation where energy depleted me. And this is the reason why I say that is because I felt so depleted. That whole day, I was like, I'm not even going to do it. And then I had some meetings scheduled.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to just do this meeting real quick and I'm going to just chill. I'm going to just relax. Mental health day. And that meeting was them saying, hey, Queena, we've decided to decided to change ways. And I got off the call, right? Yeah. I got out the call and I walked out. My friends was actually there at the time or whatever, and I got out the call and they was like, oh, how'd it go? I was like, yeah, I got laid off. And it was like, what? Oh my God. And I was like, no, it's cool. I had, the level of relief.
Wow.
The level of relief. I was like, yo, why do I feel so free? And here is the reason why. And it clicked for me.
Yeah.
It's because I had so much resistance to being there.
Okay.
But I didn't want to change my situation. I didn't want to change it because I felt like it was what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Or if like you could be in a relationship, right? Or I have plenty of relationships in my life, right? Romantic ones, where it's like, you're not meant to be with this person.
Yeah.
Like you can feel it. You don't even know why it is that the things upset you or whatever the case may be. But that resistance is there and it's telling you something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's telling you something.
Yeah, that's so wild because it's like, when you say it, you was like, I felt laziness. I felt like I was doing this. I was being that. And I feel like when it comes to resistance, like one of the biggest things is like we're always dealing with how we identify ourselves.
Yeah.
And like the things that societally, is that a word? That's not
yeah. I mean, it is here. We know what I mean.
Like in society, the perception of what you should feel about being where you are in this moment in time is so big. That narrative is so powerful that it affects the way that we even consider how this thing actually fits into our lifestyle. Profoundly.
Yeah. I would have been willing to go through like just the most discomfort I ever, just because I didn't want the world, you know what I mean, to feel some type of way about me leaving. Because what do I say? I'm like, oh, I'm not going to do this dream job because I don't feel like it anymore.
Yeah.
What? Then people gonna look at me crazy like, what, Queena, you gotta pay your bills, you gotta survive, you gotta do all these things. Like resistance is a it is a symptom. It is a sign. It is trying to show you something. Yes. Your resistance is trying to show you something. If you have a situation in your life that you are looking to change, and in that particular situation you feel some tingles, you don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
You feeling tingles, right? It's trying to tell you something. Something is there, right? And it was through that experience that I had to say to myself that I was like, you know what? Like, I need to start listening to my resistance. And I also need to start believing in my intuition. Okay? How often do you feel your intuition? Do you like...
I feel it a lot more now. I think that there was a large level of resistance to the feeling of, trusting myself, trusting my instinct, just because of the idea that, we don't have like a compass around what's right and what's wrong or what direction we should go with certain things. Like even with you with the job, it's like you feel like this is the right thing because everyone has told you that this is the right thing. Yeah. But like so now dictating laziness versus I just don't feel good here. Yeah. Becomes like a confusing metric.
Very confusing.
Because people are like, you should be happy. And it's like I get it, but like to my core, I'm not, And so like, I think that when it comes to resistance, we have to spend a lot more time understanding what our intuition is telling us, because I think that intuition and resistance coincide in a way where resistance is trying to show you something about you. It's trying to show you something about yourself. And if you listen to it, then you can start to peel back those onion pieces to really understand what these feelings are. First layer is, hey, I feel lazy. But why do I feel lazy? Maybe it's because I don't want to do this particular, but why don't I want to do this particular thing? Yep. Maybe it's because it's not that I don't like this thing that I'm doing. I don't like it in this context, which tells me that it's not that I don't like doing the work in this job, I just don't like the environment, and that's completely okay. That is 110% okay. Yes, and I think that a lot of times when you say that, if you were to say that out loud to another person and say, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do this, immediately their fear kicks in. Of like, well, then what are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
Like as if there's no other opportunity in the world that exists where you could actually do the same thing and be happy in a different space. Yeah. Yes, it's people's fears kicking in on the back end.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and sometimes it permeates even our thought process.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because like that's why resistance is defined as physiological, right? And it's happening in the psyche. Yeah. Because your brain is trying to protect you. So the moment you start facing resistance, it's going to start trying to tell you like, oh, well, how are we going to survive? Yeah. How are we going to survive then? If you change this about you, if you, and this happens like, even like I've had to end relationships in my life, and one of my fears that I had to deal with was the fear of being alone. Right? The fear of being alone was one of the things that was hard for me. And my resistance, my survival mechanism says, well, if you're alone, who's going to take care of you? Who's going to be there when you need something? Yeah. Who's going to listen to you? Or, who can you share your accomplishments with, or all those things or whatever. And when you talk about intuition, that shit, it hit me, because intuition is about trusting yourself.
Yes.
All of this, when we talk about these changes, the resistance, whatever's happening, we're talking about trusting yourself. And to be honest with you, typically we trust the outside world far more than we trust ourselves. Because we don't.
Because look at it. We place value on other opinions.
On their opinions.
We place value on how other people perceive your job title to be, or everything that exists in your world.
Yep.
And you have to live with you.
And you got to live with you.
But I'm doing all of these things to make sure that it looks good to the outside world.
Yep.
And we, at society as a whole, spends a lot more time doing that than they do getting to the core of what will make me happy.
Mm-hmm. What will truly make me happy. And it's like we listen to the world so much more than that, because I know I was doing it. Yeah. I was like, I knew. And the thing is, too, sometimes you could realize a situation ain't for you immediately.
Yes.
Sometimes you walk into a situation, you know this ain't for you immediately, but because you know, if you sink in your time and your energy and your money, sometimes you'll end up keep going with it just because how much time and energy you put in. Yeah. Right? You call that sudden cost fallacy. Sudden cost fallacy is the idea that I have, I put a lot of money into this car. You know what I mean? I put so much money into this car. I got to keep the car. I'm going to just keep pouring more money into it instead of getting something new. Wow. Or if you got a relationship, you could have been with somebody for 5-10 years. And even though you're saying to yourself, this relationship isn't good, it's toxic, there's something wrong, you're saying you have the sudden cost fallacy where you say, well, I invested 10 years of my life. I'm not going to start over somewhere else. So I'm going to just keep pouring my time and energy here. There's resistance in anywhere that we find change because we are fighting against something. Yeah, we are fighting against our minds. We need to separate the two of them. Yeah, because we keep thinking that we in here and our flesh is the same. You know what I'm saying? It ain't. We ain't all connecting. Because if my brain and my body were truly connected the way that they need to be, then I would have a 6-pack of abs. I'd be up every morning at 4 because I know what I need to do. I know what I need to do. It's up here.
My brain will have that. Get right.
It's up here. But I got to fight some stuff to make it happen into this 3-dimensional space. Yeah. I got to fight to bring some things in. Yeah. Now, when we talk about what you got in your mind and then what you're trying to bring into the world, the separation between those two, here's another vocab word for the day.
Add them up.
All right, we adding them up. This is called cognitive dissonance. The distance between what you want to do and what you are doing, right? So if you got somebody who says to themselves like, oh, you got to live healthy, you got to, not eat things that are bad for you or something like that, but that person is a smoker. That's cognitive dissonance. There's a sense of like, that there is a way that you want to live, and then there's a way that you are actually living, right? That's what cognitive dissonance is. And the thing is like, if you face resistance, right, in your life as you go to change different things, you're going to start experiencing these feelings where your mind is trying to, because you're separating from who you used to be who you are now. So you have to now pull these thoughts away, okay? We breaking it. I'm trying to, you let me know if you on a train with me. We gonna follow it through.
Yeah, for sure.
We gonna break it apart, right? But as you start going through these breakdowns, and trying to figure out what it is that is causing your resistance, the symptoms are gonna show up. Perfectionism is a symptom of resistance. Criticism is a symptom of resistance. So if you start going through changes and you start criticizing yourself, oh, I don't like that, ain't turn out right. That's why I shouldn't be doing that. This is why I shouldn't go here. This is why, or if you're trying to go to a new project, like let's say we want to start a podcast. Let's say you want to start a podcast and you start saying to yourself, oh, I gotta wait, I'm gonna get the best camera that I can do this or whatever. I want to make sure that the quality looks like perfectionism.
Make sure I'm saying everything exactly the right way.
I'm gonna put as much resistance as I can so that I never actually have to change, because the shift is hard. We are fighting against that. So for anyone out there who's looking towards changing their mind, looking to make that shift and is facing the resistance, we need to start looking at resistance as a roadmap. Resistance is the roadmap.
I love that.
All right. So the moment you start experiencing things, if you're questioning a change in your life, if you are questioning what it is that you want to do, then you are in the perfect spot. You are in the perfect spot, because right there where you ask that question, I need you to look around and see, what did you carry along with you? Did you carry your perfectionism? Did you carry your fear, your doubt? Where is it? What else you got on your road trip? What baggage you bringing with you? Because whatever it is going to be the GPS coordinates to wherever you're trying to go. You see what I'm saying? You follow? We track. Okay.
Talk about it.
We tracking. We tracking. You know what I'm saying? We tracking because I had to listen to my like, and it's scary because I'm like, am I right? Am I making the right decision?
Yeah.
It's like it's easier to listen to the world because I'm not responsible if I'm wrong.
Yeah. Like that, the blame goes somewhere else.
The blame goes somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
somewhere else.
Ooh,
so
that's so intense. Oh my God. I love how you broke that down. That was a lot. Oh my God. I'm so
I've been feeling it, yo.
No,
I have a
that's
lot of
fire.
resistance in so many different spaces in my life, but like all of it really just comes down to like, yo, I like you have to have confidence
Yeah.
to face resistance.
Yeah.
Because you have to be confident that whatever your body is telling you, whatever that thing is that you just can't quite answer, because sometimes people give it other names.
Yeah.
They'll call it depression. They'll call it anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, they'll call it procrastination. They'll call it laziness.
Yeah. See,
You
we
need-
get, yeah.
Stop doing that.
Nah. Yeah.
Stop doing that. Stop.
But I think that that's just because it's the easier route. Because we want to define it. We want to categorize it. That's it's natural for us to want to figure out.
Yeah, give it labels.
and
give it
solve
some. Yeah.
But like I think that we need to get a little bit more curious about what those emotions and feelings are telling us.
Yeah.
Not just like this is the emotion. No, what is this emotion
Telling you.
me?
Yes.
Yeah, because those emotion is a language. Like
Yes.
it's not just a word. You feel things for a reason. So we have to start taking some time to dissect what those feelings are. Like I was reading a book. I can't put my finger on it, but it was like about a woman going through her traveling experience, and every so often she would have this moment of like, okay, I need to thought onion this situation. Like, I need to thought onion this, and she's like, why am I feeling like this? She's like, well, I'm angry, but why am I angry? I'm angry because this is that, and it's like, all right, go further. Well, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's actually, I'm upset at the way that he made me feel. And then it's like, well, think a little deeper. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, because I feel such and such about me. Like, and you just got to keep deep diving and trying to understand what the root of these emotions are.
Yes.
Because, I mean, not only is it a portion of it is this emotion you're feeling, but sometimes it's deep rooted into like some of the things that are the way that you're wired as a person.
Yes.
And we got to start acknowledging what that wiring is, because I could feel offended when someone says a certain thing about me, but deep down inside, maybe it's because I truly feel that about myself.
Yeah.
And so that sense of vulnerability, it's like when you said that, you saw me.
You saw
and
it.
I didn't want
Yeah.
you to see me, and that made me angry.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't, if you don't thought onion that, if you don't get curious about that feeling,
thought onion.
then I'm just automatically like, you say that to me and I'm angry at you.
Yeah.
I'm angry at you, instead of looking inside and trying to figure out what
is
the
it that
root
caused that? Yeah.
of this emotion, and then like, how do I deal with it?
Yeah.
How do I grow out of it?
How do I grow out of it? How do I process it? How do I navigate the situation? Because it'll come up and it'll show up everywhere in your life.
Exactly.
It'll show up everywhere. It'll sprout. It'll sprout in every aspect of your life, right?
Yeah.
Every aspect of your life. And it's like when we talk about these things, I know, it doesn't feel heavy to me. It doesn't feel as heavy to me as it did before.
No.
Because I almost I like talking about it, right? Because I feel like it's the literal syllabus for us to reach the versions of ourselves that we want to be.
Yeah.
It's a syllabus, because at this point I'm unlearning.
Yeah.
I'm 30 years old trying to understand how my mind works.
Yeah.
That's wild. I've been with it for 3 decades. I've been with it for 3 decades, and I'm like, oh, that's why you're like that?
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh my God, Queena, let it go.
Yo,
I'm
but 30, we are
Bruh.
still when it comes to our mental, we are babies.
We're babies.
30s, you are a baby when it comes to your mental, because we spend so much time thinking we got to figure it out. We know how the world works.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, oh no, I don't know me.
No, I don't.
And I got to spend some time figuring that out now, because not only is things that I assume in my own head, but there's so much from everything else in my head, and I have to figure out which is which. What is me and what is you, and what can I keep?
Yeah,
what
where
am
are
I
those
letting
boundaries?
go of?
Where do they separate? How do
how do I really feel in these spaces? Because I imagine you never want to be in a situation again where it's like, I'm trying to do this thing because this makes y'all feel good. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I feel the same way. I'm trying to do as little of that as possible. Like as little as possible.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like I'm coming to the fact that like everything I want to do moving forward, I have to feel a sense of happiness first. Like if I don't get that immediate like just energetic, like this is me, this feels to like me at my core.
Yeah.
If there's a lot of noise coming from the sides and things, I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
do it.
It ain't gonna work.
I can't do it because I've gotten to a point where it's like I know that anything in this world just does not matter to me if I'm not happy. It just, if I'm not happy, it don't work with my world.
It don't work. Yeah, it's gonna fall apart.
Yeah,
it's gonna fall apart one way or another.
It don't matter if I'm putting on the front. It's not gonna last.
It's
long.
not gonna last long. You gonna see
It ain't me.
I'm telling you, and it's gonna happen whether you want it to or not. Because just like they didn't lay me off for no reason. You know what I'm saying? They was on some like, nah, she ain't even giving it. I'm like, yo, you right. I didn't even. I'm doing it not even on purpose.
Yeah,
I'm just not here.
I don't have the.
I don't have
energy
it. I don't got the energy for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's why I don't take on long-term projects.
Yeah.
Right, taking on long-term clients or something like that, or doing anything. That's why I don't do it, because it's like I don't know when my energy gonna shift, and my resistance is gonna show up. Like, but you need to look at it like a roadmap. There was a study one time that they studied like 1,200 adults for a year and asked them to track their emotions. And after the end of the year, adults were only capable of identifying 3 emotions. Can you guess what those emotions were?
What's that?
It was happiness, sadness, and anger. Despite the fact that there are over 80 different emotions that a human brain person can feel.
Wow.
We don't even have the language to identify them. Right? Disappointment, humiliation, anguish. You know,
we don't have to live with it. Yeah.
We don't even know what you know what I'm saying? There is dozens of emotions that we don't even know how to put words to it. But what I really want to walk out of this episode with is that if any one of you is experiencing a change, you will undoubtedly experience resistance. Your intuition is telling you something, because the intuition is what's trying to guide you to whatever it is you got next. Yeah. And we've built that and I think that like you build your intuition. Yeah. Right. When you like the reason why you get into a point now where it's like if I'm not happy, I'm not doing it. Yeah. Is because you followed things that made you happy and saw what happened. Yeah. And you followed things that made you and you saw what happened.
Exactly.
So you built a confidence in yourself to say like, I am strong enough, I am smart enough, I am capable enough to go on this journey and accept whether it is win or defeat and triumph towards whatever my intuition is telling me is right. Exactly. I'm gonna make it work. Exactly. I'm gonna make it work over here because I feel like that's what's pulling me. And if you go to the other side, if you're experiencing that resistance or whatever the case may be, you need to find out where is it coming from.
Exactly. All right, folks, we have come to the book recommendation, or maybe we saying podcast recommendation section.
Or maybe we're just going to say recommendation, because we might come up with a comic book. Yeah. You know what I mean? Some cereal that we really like this week. Who knows?
It's the game I played this week. Yo, it taught me something. Big facts. But yeah, I got another dope podcast recommendation for you guys. This one is called Can't Afford Therapy Podcast. And I think it was really cool because you discussed, how little we look at our emotions and really like separate them from the outside the top 3 that we know and identify with. Yeah. And the thing that I really enjoy about that podcast is they always start off with the feelings wheel. So they have a pillow that has like a wheel full of feelings. It's like probably 80, 90 different emotions and things on that feelings wheel. And like they come in, they grab the pillow. It's 3 of them. Come in, grab the pillow, and everybody expresses, what am I feeling today before they dive into the topic. And I think that that's really cool because it forces your mind to think about like what are some of the other emotions that that I can express, Yeah. And then like, where am I at? And I think that was really cool. And then obviously the podcast itself deep dives and dissects a lot of conversations around, our feelings, our emotions, and why our brain thinks the way we think about some of these things. And I think it's really hitting the head for resistance and just like, you know, dissecting the mind. Also, if you can't afford therapy, it might be a good spot to stop at. Yeah, just really start having some of these conversations around why we think the way we think. So, Can't Afford Therapy podcast is my recommendation.
I'll put that in the show notes. All right. So we are on to the shout out section. Who we finna shout out? Who we finna shout out today? Yeah, no. So today, this one's coming because I was watching her Instagram lives.
Yeah.
This is probably maybe a few weeks ago, you know, if not like a few months ago. I don't really know, but she was on live for a little while because she was curating one of the biggest shows of her career. Right. And this shout out goes to an artist by the name of J. Rose. You feel me? J. Rose, she is a poet, a curator of events over in the New York City area. I'm pretty sure she's all around. But the reason why I'm bringing her up right now is because she actually put together a show called Legends. And it was a show that was like, it was a poetry show. It was the largest one she ever did. But as she was going through the process, she was talking about all the resistance and obstacles she faced.
Wow.
Now, she probably don't even know this because I was popping in her live every single time she would come on. Just because I would want to hear about what things she was going through. And I could tell even listening, she's a perfectionist. You know what I mean? She's very critical of herself and how things appear. You know what I mean? Because she wanted the event to look good, to feel good, to, you know what I'm saying? And like, she really poured all of her energy in watching that. And it's like, whenever I see somebody do that, whenever I see somebody deal with resistance, as in like obstacles on their path, but following their intuition, that stuff is profound to me. Like absolutely profound to me.
Wow.
And it's like, I don't feel like, you know, and even because that event has come and gone. But it'll live with her forever, you know what I'm saying? Because it's this thing where it's like you had to do something, you had to bring something from your imagination into the physical space, and that is power. That is so powerful. So if you are looking for one, if you're in the area and you're looking for open mics to be a part of, J. Rose has a bunch of different experience. So we're gonna put all the information for everything that she got, because she has something called Rose Garden Events. She curates open mics, workshops, and she also is a spoken word poet herself. So if you are interested in checking out any of her content or anything that she got going on, because she is always hosting something, all right, we are going to put her information below. But for right here, right now, we want to make sure that no matter what, you walk away with your flowers. That's for you. You
know what time it is.
It's you.
You know what time it is. It's time for the three bubbles.
You better stop playing. You better stop playing before we invite you to cookout. Yo, it's time for the 3 B's. It's time for the 3 B's. I was like, I don't know if it was like the percolator.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. All right, so yeah, it's time for the 3 B's. We are here to talk about the 3 things that we are going to do to build our brain, our body, and our business, or brand, however you want to identify that. And
yes,
I know last week I was real heavy on making, just kind of distracting myself a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean like, I guess it's a weird connotation to say that, but I feel like I spend so much time thinking seriously. I wake up on 100, bro.
Yeah.
Did you say? Yeah, you do. I wake up on 100, bro. Every day I'm like, what am I doing? How am I doing it? Why am I doing it? Where am I doing it? Yeah, how am I, so I do that every single day. So I'm trying to kind of give myself that space. So I'm still out here planting, just spending time in the dirt, feeling it in my fingers, just so that I'm kind of like, giving myself something else to do. And part of that is being on YouTube. So I'll find other growers on YouTube just to be learning about what, and it's winter here in New Jersey. So it's like, what else can I plant? What else can I create that kind of, and it's fun going to Home Depot, hitting the aisle real quick just to grab.
Let me go to the garden now.
Yeah, let me go to the garden, you know what I'm saying? So it's been a nice journey. As far as the body goes, we already, we knocked out the 3-day fast.
Okay.
You feel me? So I don't even know how to like really talk about that, because you already, but that happened, you know what I'm saying? So the body is changing up a lot, you know what I mean? Just trying to make sure the
All right.
intermittent fasting is staying good. And then as far as the business goes, we are in curriculum building. So we actually completed the equipment listing. So, you know, the students that I'm going to be working with over in Costa Rica are going to have an entire studio set up. And I'm super excited. I'm actually might do some YouTube videos just to kind of show that experience. So if you're interested in checking that out, you know, comment down below and I'll, you know, see if I got some time to vlog that out. Because I do want to, like, you know, show that out. I think part of it too, and I'm probably gonna talk to you about this, but I kind of wanna vlog my experience.
Okay.
Or I want to do something like that. But every time I feel like I start a YouTube channel or started something, it's just resistance comes in and and things start to change. So I'm hoping that's something that I can develop in 2024. So that's what I got going for the brand and the business right now. So where you at?
Where am I at? Okay. So for the brain, doing a little bit more meditating this week. Definitely getting into the clearing my mind some more, you know, making more room for other ideas and thoughts and things like that of that nature. I think that, you know, top of this year, one of the most important things for me is figuring out the multiple ways in which I'm going to exist and the things that I'm going to do to continue to
sound deep. Figure out the multiple ways in which I will exist.
Yeah.
What?
All right, let's lighten it up. Well, obviously, you know, I've always
keep it deep. I just want to acknowledge it. That's all.
No, I mean, you know, obviously, we're constantly dancing with the idea of what is our identity, how are we presenting ourselves in the world, and all of these different things. So, you know, I think that as I continue to move on, things are shifting in my world where. What's important to me is changing, and then also how I want to create, you know, business as chemistry. I think what I'm offering is changing too, and so I think that creating a space where values and finances exist in a business structure is like what I've been working on lately, and just building out a system around that and like offering it to other people. And so I don't want to get too detailed because it's not like fully.
Yeah.
I don't wanna,
no, it's cool. It's cool.
But like I've like really been like honing in on what that looks and feels like, and how does that process go when I'm speaking to someone, and how do I consult people through it, and just so I've been like kind of testing out that theory, having conversations with people around it, and I'm shaping out the thing that's I think I can give to the world that I feel like is really like it's going to help. And
offer value.
Yeah, like really offer value to a community of people. And I think that, you know, I've been so like taking my time with it because I really like want it to be something that's coming from me. And it's like in order for that to be the case, it's like I really have to understand like that those things that are me versus like what is someone telling me.
Yeah.
And I've been having to spend like the last few months weeding all of it out and just like really understanding what makes me happy, what can I pour into, and then how can I give that to someone and make it valuable. So that's where my brain I guess brain and business.
I was about to say, I'm so like you're covering all the bases
I guess
here.
my brain and business has been And yeah, the body is just, you know, the body. Yeah. The body's just doing what the body
The body is just really making everything else happen.
The body's just trying to figure out where the brain at so the body could take action.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's how we following through.
Yeah. Man, 2024 energy, man.
Yeah, 2024 energy. We about to come different. You know what I mean? We about to come different. You've seen even from the first episode to where we at now.
Yeah.
Coming into the new year, like there's a lot going on over here on this side, but we know that despite every one of these changes, as we go through them, as we figure out these obstacles, we're really trying to listen to as much as we can from ourselves and from you guys to help make this podcast the greatest thing that we can create and offer to the world. And the only way we could do that is by growing our community. So if you are somebody who is listening right here, right now, we really do humbly ask that you like, comment, share, do all the social media algorithmic things to just help us keep going, you know what I mean, because we're gonna create this whether or not regardless. You know what I mean, we're gonna create this regardless. But I think that it's more so like you really can feel your value. You truly learn about your value on how you can help other people. That's where you can really get the feedback at, because that's how the cycle kind of continues. So we'd love for you guys to join us on that journey.
For sure.
As always.
Go ahead, comment community down below again. Go ahead and do that. We want to see what y'all looking like, how y'all growing with us. Because, we started with the 25 podcast downloads. And we got the 100 podcast downloads.
Yeah, we skipped 50, 75.
All of that. But we know y'all are listening, and we appreciate you, liking, sharing, downloading, all of those things. And we want to continue to build that community with you. So we are not strangers. Feel free to reach out, have a conversation with us. We love to hear your thoughts, and we want to keep sharing the best knowledge that we can.
Absolutely. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of The Life We Chose.
For sure. Love y'all.
Yeah, this is the life that we chose. All about goals, all about getting the go. Pedal to metal, we drove. Head to the heels, I wanna get me a bow. 2020 be the vision, depicted the growth. Before I could get on the road, look at the level she rose. Cheddar, 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 check me.